My name is George, and what I want to do is I just want to share a few thoughts on tippet and adding droppers when you're nymph fishing. Like anything else, everyone's got their opinions, and there's a lot of great options out there. What I'm going to share with you is just a simple system that has worked for me the last couple of years. First is about tippet length. If I want my tippet length, whether I'm adding this off an indicator or an inline cider material, if I want my tippet length to be 4 feet, I'm going to pull 4 feet off the tippet spool, attach that to my indicator or my cider, and this is where my point fly would go over here. One continuous line. I'm not joining two separate sections of a leader to accomplish one section. Instead, what I'm doing is I'm working off one main line. It's a lot stronger. I get far fewer break-offs. Anytime I want to add a dropper on there, what I'm going to do is use a surgeon's knot at first. And the idea is that, think about my forearm here as a single strand. Instead of adding two sections together, what we're going to do is use one long section of 4 feet. That's the longest section our tippet's going to be. And then anytime I want to add a dropper, we're going to do about a 3 or 4 turn surgeon's knot, what they refer to as a strangulation knot. It's going to go over top, so I'm adding on to the main line. I'm not breaking it apart, but we're just adding to the main line. Anytime I want to add a dropper, what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide my hand up to the point. The height and the separation is based on a variety of variables, but say for example I want my flies about 20 inches apart. I pinch that, and what I'm going to do on my spool of tippet of equal or smaller diameter, we're going to use about 8 to 10 inches. And give yourself plenty of room to work with. We're going to use a short end, and we're going to, wherever we want to add our dropper, tie in or apply the short end right here, and we're going to pinch that down. Moisten up the monofilament or fluorocarbon, and we're going to do a 3 or 4 turn clinch knot. Pretty simple. We're going to cinch that down right there. We're going to trim the top tag. Now, the purpose of this is first we're going to have a dropper, but more importantly what this is going to do is puts a knot on my leader. I'm not breaking this main line in half. What I'm doing is I'm just basically adding a stopper knot onto my main line of my leader. Now if you wanted to, you could just trim the bottom tag, and we're going to do a clinch knot to add our final dropper, but instead that's a waste of monofilament material. And what I'm going to do is I will add a fly here, and the issues with the downward tag are this, and you can see this. It does ride close to the main line of the leader, but my experience is this: as long as you reduce any of your jerking, erratic motions when you're casting and playing fish, not always possible, this is not going to tangle nearly as much. My droppers are going to usually be about 4 to 6 inches in length. Anything longer will tend to tangle. Anything shorter, I don't think it has as much movement. So I'm going to try to keep about 4 to 6 inches in length. Now once you start trimming down on this dropper and it gets too short, what we're going to do is just take our nippers and we're going to nip that. So all we have left is the original knot from our surgeon's knot. This is what is the important part. This is our stopper knot. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add a dropper using a clinch knot that we tie in our hand. This is the same knot you will use anytime you are trying to tie off the bend of another, like a dry fly, if you're trying to do a dry dropper. And the way you do it is you grab the short end of your tippet, and we're going to create a loop. We take our index finger and we're going to twist 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 turns. Take the short tag through the loop right here. Pull that through, and what we're going to do is take your dry fly, in this case, go through the loop, pinch his tag end against the fly here, and we're going to cinch that. Easy way of adding the dropper to a dry fly. But we're going to add that same loop to our nymphing rig. So what I want to show you is this. Say for example, right here, I have a nymph already tied on the point, and I've just cut off my dropper right here. So I have my point fly still on the rig, and now I just trim my dropper. So we just have nothing but the knot. Now what I want to do is I want to add a dropper onto this knotted section. So taking, again, similar or smaller diameter size than the main line, again, give yourself a little bit of room. 8 to 12 inches is fine. We're going to create a bigger loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go through with a short tag. Now we have a much larger loop right here. Okay? Now with our nymph or our split shot rig, what we're going to do is we're just going to pass this down through the loop right here. All the way down. Okay? Beyond the point, once we get beyond the point, I find it easier to use a pair of forceps, cinch that bottom tag, and then just knot right there. Now we just cinch the cinch knot. And now what we can do is that original knot, when we slide it down, acts as a stopper knot. The easy thing and the nice thing about this type of knot, the cinch knot, as you can see, and once you trim it to maybe about 4 to 6 inches, the tag end comes off at approximately a 90-degree angle. And this hinge kind of keeps it away from the main leader. And this really reduces tangles. So again, just a simple way of adding a dropper is just by using that simple cinch knot that we use in our hand to attach off of dry flies. But you create a knot large enough that you can pass your nymph rig through, slide it past the knot, cinch it, and slide it down, and you have an easy way of adding droppers when nymph fishing. So thank you for watching, and please keep the questions coming. I will try to do a vlog at least once a month, and most of the vlogs are going to be based on the questions I get. So really appreciate the support, and thanks again for watching. Have a great day.